remember that show where they were riding on those big old red balls and they fell into the water? Well, it was called Wipeout, and I decided to make a game like Wipeout in 1 hour. But there's a twist. I took a Taco Bell break and I accidentally wasted 15 minutes. Here's how it went. And the hour starts now. Y'all judging the pink star on my face? Well, I get pimples too. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, new experience. So I need to go ahead and tell you guys like my plan for what we're gonna do in this game. You guys have seen the other episodes. We've done scary games. We've done backrooms. We've done, I don't even know what the hell that one was. Today, we're gonna make an obby, like a Wipeout inspired obby, but we only have an hour. Hang on, Taco Bell break. Yeah. Fat Rob was so hungry that he had to stop his timer. Oh wait, the timer couldn't stop because that's the rules, to eat his freaking taco. I guess we only have 45 minutes to make this a real game. So a big problem that I had in the first 3 episodes of this series is that I used too many free models. So this time I was so sure that I was going to keep it to a minimum. I had to make pretty much everything from scratch, including all of the obstacles. So the first one that I decided to do was the big red balls. If you guys have never seen Wipeout before, it's kind of like what they're known for. If you look at any picture of Wipeout, you'll see the big red balls. It's just 3 big old balls that people jump on. Pause. Anyway, so I also had some checkpoints here, which made a sound when you landed on them, going ba-da-ding, ba-da-ding. I decided to have that and also do some tight ropes. This isn't going to be like a really big obstacle course, but it's just something to get me started and lay the groundwork for a later, bigger game. Just, I guess, proof of concept, you know? Well, anyway, I decided to take the tightrope that I already had and make it shorter and add some death bricks on top of that. This rinse and repeat cycle would literally go on to be how I was able to do this in an hour. Now, as you can tell, I accidentally put way too many death bricks down, where there wasn't enough space for a Roblox character to actually jump. But anyway, if I take those big balls from earlier and I make them smaller, and I make them go up, it'll make it so that the Roblox character is no longer able to get to another stage that they're not supposed to be at yet, because a Roblox character cannot jump that high. If they're from the tightrope and they can just skip the death brick area entirely, that's not going to make for a very good game. So what I decided to do after that was use the tightrope that I made already and make it bigger pillars. I'm literally just using these same models that I've already made, already anchored, already, made them how I want to look, and just using them for the rest of this. This is going to be how I win. Until I realize there's only so many things that you can use with the same thing over and over, and that doesn't make for an interesting video. So it's time to make things a little bit more complicated. Okay, I only have about, 30 or 20 minutes left at this point? What can we do to make this a little bit more interesting? So I figure if I just make a different shape and just start using more shapes, it'll not only make my game look a little bit better, but also make it a little bit more interesting for the player, which of course is the main goal of this. So if I use like a fun little pattern and I make, one pillar small, another pillar bigger, and it kind of goes in like this shape, just rotate it, well, there's another whole level. I can literally mass produce these levels. You guys remember like level 3 after the tightrope where there's all those kill bricks that the player has to jump over? I decided to take one of those, make it much bigger, and make it where the water is, like where the water level is under the entire map. And what I have going on is I made it entirely transparent, so when the player drops, they die. It makes a little death counter in the top right. I couldn't quite figure out how to code a good tab list and make them sync to each stage, so I figured a death counter would at least show proof of concept. So now it's time for probably the most important thing that a lot of these nowadays game developers forget: playtesting. You have to make sure that first your spawns work, every single one of them. Second, that the player can actually jump in all these death bricks and not get killed by every single one of them, and that each level is possible. You don't want to make anything impossible. So now, what in the world do I do? I have a cool looking level, but I don't really have much to go off of. Well, apparently my water wasn't even all the way on the ground. It was off-centered. It was just something that I messed up. And just like that, the dream was over. I realized that making a game in Roblox is just not for some people, and I unfortunately don't happen to be that person. So, I packed my things, and I went right back to it. And what did I do? I decided to add something special. Yeah, I added me a spinner, and I used some of those previous cylinders to make some mirrored jumps that the player could make, and if the spinner would hit him, it would kill him. It's not the most interesting design ever, but look at it, it actually works and it kills me. That's pretty sick. And I decided to make another level right here, and you'll never guess what I put here. I took another tightrope, but I made this one connect horizontally. Look, that's the best thing I had. All right, I'm trying my best. I found a Wipeout logo, we made a finish line, and just like that, it's time. Let's check it out. Okay, so it's been an hour. So I will say, out of all of the games that I have made, this one is probably the best. It doesn't look good, it's not great by any stretch of the imagination, but I used the fewest free models. There's definitely an improvement. So let me show you what I got. If you press play, you start in the right direction, and you see the Wipeout logo. You go on these big balls right here, and these checkpoints actually work. So if I fall, my death counter goes up and I respawn right here. So as you can tell, you go through this, all this good stuff, and look at this cool spinner. If you get hit by it, you die, and your death counter goes up again. And now it's time to publish it. So let's go ahead and do save. Wait, how do you publish a game again? Okay, it's time to publish it. Here we go. Create new experience. We're gonna call this Wipeout. We're gonna call this White Block. Wipeout in Roblox. I'm sure you could have guessed that. Time to wipe it out, boy, and others who are interested. Okay, this game's freaking terrible. If you want to play it, it'll be in my profile. This took literally 30 seconds to finish, but it took me an hour to make. I'm pretty proud of it. If I should make this a full-fledged game, let me know. I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.